I liked it. I liked the movie. Before we start criticizing things, I enjoyed the time. But there were parts of it that I loved. Loved. And there were parts of it that I just could not stand. And they're all rolled up together in this experience that I'm really mixed on. I definitely didn't get what I was expecting out of it, but I also didn't really know what I was gonna expect anyway, so I'm in a really weird place right now with a lot of mixed emotions. Let's just start with going into it. I thought this was gonna be Marvel's answer to Suicide Squad, and the first, the first two acts even, kind of are just them doing Suicide Squad, but just better, like a better made movie than that movie was. And we're talking full spoilers here, so you've been warned. Fucking Taskmaster? Are you kidding me? Every piece of marketing or promotional material or whatever had all these characters and Taskmaster in it. When they announced the film, they had her in the concept art too, and they said the actress is coming back. It's a big part of the thing. She is in the film for like less than 3 minutes for one fight scene and dies immediately, gunned in the head. You see blood come out and then gets incinerated. Never brought up again, never addressed. There's like one line where it is addressed where like, oh, you knew her? Yeah, a little. She had a rough life. We all did. 2 seconds of screen time devoted to her. Never again. She never comes back. Like, why even put her in there? It's the same thing as Slipknot and Suicide Squad, where the guy who can climb anything. It's like, oh, we need someone to die so you know that there are stakes, even though there's no fucking stakes from that point forward, so who cares? I thought that was so hilariously mishandled. The director was interviewed about it, and he was like, oh yeah, we thought that'd be a fun thing to do because it really keeps you on your toes. You don't know what's going to happen next. We just killed one of the main characters. It's like, why'd you call them the main character, or one of the main characters? I know it wasn't supposed to be like Taskmaster the movie, obviously, but like, it was marketed to the same level as like Ghost was or John Walker was. I was going to buy the popcorn bucket. I went to the AMC theater and they had like all these cups with all the characters on them. So you got like Ghost, you got Red Guardian, and fucking Taskmaster. I should have got the Taskmaster cup. That'd be the funniest part. She's not even the fucking movie. And I didn't even love Black Widow. I thought that was a disappointing film. This is a better film than Black Widow. But at the very least, Taskmaster with the mask on doing Taskmaster shit is fun as hell. And now you have no more of that ever again. Yay. So that bothered me, and I'm going to switch back and forth between positives and negatives here. I did like the way the movie started to tie together the storylines. Like the reveal in the vault when they're all there to kill each other and they're all there to like damn the evidence. Dumb plan on Valentina's part. You may as well have just gotten them assassinated other ways, but does lead to some interesting scenes. The action was really, really good. All of the action in the movie was awesome. Like, I'm not even kidding. All the hand-to-hand combat stuff was really exciting. I do think they're way too interchangeable, all these characters, when they're fighting. But when they are fighting, it's fun to watch. I mean, it's never boring. It's never shittily shot. It's all shot like a good old John Wick time. The namesake not being because of General Ross, even though that's how it is in the comics. But more importantly, the last film from like a couple months ago finally had him called Thunderbolt Ross as like an evil nickname. And I'm like, oh shit, how is that going to tie into this movie where it's his team based off of his name? Doesn't. Unrelated reason that they're called the Thunderbolts. It's like, why even call them that? And I'm not even talking about the asterisk situation where they switch the name of the team at the end, which is a weird decision. I don't hate it. We'll get there. So then you'd figure, as the movie goes on and you got characters talking and interacting with each other, we get like more development, development scenes. So you want to develop your characters. You got to develop your... Stories are fleshed out. Oh, let's build to something. We're all going to learn something. Only Yelena and her dad get development. Like, they're the only ones with like an arc that like learn something about and from each other. John Walker, it's addressed that, oh, I lost my kid in the divorce because I broke my arm because I was Captain America and I was evil or whatever. Like, yeah, I saw that show. So like, I understand this is a logical consequence of that. But it's never addressed again. It's never brought back. He doesn't, like, at the end of the movie, like, see his kid or his wife or realize what he has to do or, like, nothing is learned from that. So it's just mentioned, moved on. Ghost, even worse. Even worse, you get, like, nothing on Ghost. She's just there to do one-liners and call Captain America an asshole, because he kind of is. And that's it. And just do visual effects sometimes. She's the only one with powers. We'll get to that in a minute. But she's literally there to just, like, quip every so often, and then it cuts to someone else. That's all she does in the whole film. Back to positives, I don't think Bucky did much in the movie, but Bucky is spectacular. He's one of the best characters in this movie. He's just a welcome presence in everything he's in. I think that's a lot of it because of he's been great in other projects too, so him being here just carries over what I like about him so much. He does have a lot of great, really great scenes to talk to the other characters and motivate them in certain ways, and I just love how he's trying not to be the person he is, but he keeps falling back into the person he is, which is the Winter Soldier. He's trying to go straight, trying to be a congressman, and it's like, well, duty calls, gotta do it. He shows up, ties them all up. He's like, hell yeah, you're all evidence. Now I'm going to be the best guy ever. And then all of a sudden he gets the phone call, and it's like, oh, I guess I'll be a ragtag group of Thunderbolts now. And then they are. And then they get their asses whooped by Sentry. And it's like, what was even the point? Why does Bucky keep fighting? When Sentry beat your and everyone else's ass in 2 seconds, he can manipulate reality. He's like fucking Dr. Manhattan, and you don't even have all your arms. You think, oh, you're going to take the jacket off. Oh, yeah, let's duke it out. Now I'm ready. Now it's all practice. It's like, of course you're going to get your fucking arm torn off. Are you stupid? I get that he's resilient and he cares about his friends, but Bucky's never been dumb. Like, even in the Captain America Winter Soldier show, like, that was genuinely, like, a good display of what Bucky can and do in the context of being a normal person against being the Winter Soldier and trying to balance that out. Well, now he's like almost fully reformed, more or less, with the mind control. And what does he do? Oh, I'm going to fist fight Sentry. Come on, man. Like, oh my God. So anyway, he starts to have a story, and then he just reverts back to being Winter Soldier, and again, doesn't learn anything, doesn't accomplish anything, doesn't even get them as evidence against Valentina because she does the big plot twist at the end, which is what the asterisk stands for. We'll get there. So that's it. That, like, 5, 6, 7 Thunderbolt characters, and like 2 get development. And I can talk about Void in a minute. That's like a whole third act. What the hell happened there? But then let's talk about the team, all right? And I get that they address it in the film. They lampshade it. Oh, this is a bad team. We're all losers. We don't know what the hell we're doing. Oh, we're so bad at everything. I get that. But, like, it's not how good or bad you are as a team. It's why are you a team? Like, what makes you interesting as a team? And aside from quips and camaraderie, they all have the same skill set. All of their powers are gun and karate. And that's all they ever do. Ghost is the only one with real powers besides Sentry, and again, we'll get there. Everyone else is just there to fist fight, shoot some guns, to the point where it's like, I don't care who fights the next goon. You can all do the same move set and the same power set and all of the goons. It doesn't matter. When you look at like any team, even the Suicide Squad, which is a far worse film than this one is, every character on the Suicide Squad has something unique going on. Like Deadshot. Perfect, he's bullseye with guns. He's a perfect aim shot guy. Harley Quinn, useless, but she's funny or whatever. Killer Croc, he's a crocodile man. That's crazy. What an insane addition to the team. Where's that in the Thunderbolts? Diablo, he can manipulate fire. And I'm not asking for like crazy out there superpowers. I'm asking for distinct characters and abilities. Otherwise, they're all just the same. It's like 6 Yelenas all teaming up like, I'm Yelena. I'm Yelena with a gun. I'm Yelena with a bat. I'm Yelena with a shield that's bent in taco. Like, I don't care. I haven't talked about Sentry. I think he started out as a really interesting character. A little, I don't want to use the word stupid because it is well written, but I don't know. I think they really just kind of lost what the hell they were doing at the end. There isn't a final fight. Like, there's no scene in this movie where they all unite to fight a common enemy. There is one, and it's like less than a minute long, and it's on YouTube now, but it's where they all fight Sentry for like 45 seconds. It's a fun scene, probably the best shot in the movie because it's just all one shot. I'm laughing, big ol' smile on my face, but at the same time, it's like, duh, of course this would happen. Who the fuck thinks they could beat him? Why, Bucky, would you even take our jacket off? What's the point? So that was fun. That was the last action scene in the movie. There's like another hour left. Like there's an entire third act happening after that point, and there's no more action. So basically after that point, the Sentry becomes the Void and starts turning into like Shadow Man, and then he holds out his hand and people just become a shadow and go pow, which is an interesting idea and cool, but also like remarkably like cheap in terms of execution. They just jump cuts the person out of there and puts a CGI shadow behind them. It's like, whoa, all right. I mean, like it's cool, but like, come on, man. Like, this is could have been more interesting visually than that. Like, I don't know. So he starts voiding everyone, right? The whole New York City's getting voided. And it's now established that when you get voided, you get transported into a series of rooms, which are all based off of trauma from your past. and maximum you get like 2 or 3 rooms, and then you're immediately free of your trauma. So then Yelena is like, okay, I'm going to go face him because we can't guns and karate our way out of this one, and we never could. There was no point in the movie happening in the first place. So I'll go talk to him or whatever. So she goes in, she voids herself, goes in the first room, beats it in like 2 minutes. This is like Escape Room 2019. I swear to God, it's the same plot as the escape room movies. So she escape rooms herself from her own traumatic past once, then twice, then I think a third time. Point is, once she like beat her own trauma, she then like gets to talk to Sentry and gets to go to Sentry and then talk to him like the normal guy. And that's where the climax starts to happen, where Sentry starts to face the void, his other half or whatever, because he's got mental problems. I totally get the metaphor. I get the metaphor they were going for. I get what they were doing with like the themes. I just think logically that it starts to break down. But anyway, so she goes to him, and then they together go to the void, which is in the room that she was in at the start of the film. So to try and bookend it, which is kind of nice. So Sentry fights the void, like fist fights, and the void likes that because the void wants the Sentry to be the void as well. So he's going to void everybody. Everyone's going to be a big old fucking void. Yelena has to help him, but how does she help him? Well, guess what? The rest of the Thunderbolts also jumped into the void too. The same void that everyone in the city is getting voided into. We're getting a big old fucking New York City void, baby. Let's get this void rockin'. Woo! So you got John Walker. He's in the void too. He's also meeting the Sentry. You got Red Guardians meeting the Sentry. Ghost is meeting the Sentry. Bucky, and that's literally the end of the list. They're all meeting the Sentry in the void too, which means that they were all in their own 2 or 3 escape rooms, and they all broke out of their own trauma. Bucky got over his trauma fast. How did the Thunderbolts know to get to the Sentry? Like, how did they find her? Is it like, oh, once you beat your 2 or 3 rooms of things you've already done in your past, you get to go to the Sentry? You're telling me, like, no one in New York City could beat 2 or 3 rooms worth of trauma that's already happened to them? No one in, like, thousands and tens of thousands of people? No one's ever been, like, why is just the Thunderbolts here? Like, did they, like, know? Did they, like, track them down? What is this place? Like, what is this? You can't even die because you fake die because it's not even a real place. Is it a real place? I don't know. The third act just goes so far into like complete utter fantasy time where every rule that could have been established is just either broken or not addressed at all. And it's the point where it's like, what am I supposed to care about? Like, where are the stakes? This is all pretend. The Sentry's like listening to Valentina for no reason, and she's like, oh, well, now I'm a god or I'm evil or something. And then she's like, I'm going to blow up your head. And she blows up his head, right? And then that works for 10 seconds. And then he becomes the evil man. He becomes the void. And he's just the biggest, saddest man ever. He's so sad. And he's so sad, he's making everyone else sad. He holds out his hand. Boom. Now you're sad. You're a shadow of sad. And you're gone. And you're in your own room. You're in your 2 or 3 rooms of sadness. And you're going to be sad in this room. You break through. You go to the next room of sadness. You got to be sadder there. And then you got to break through and get to the 3rd room maybe of sadness. I don't even know anymore. So the 3rd act is, instead of a fight, or instead of a villain, that they could all use their abilities together, which is kind of what a team is supposed to do. Like, this is kind of what should happen. This is the point of putting people together in a team and then having them form together to unite. What you do to stop the Sentry is a really big hug. A fucking hug? Like, what is this, a Pixar movie? I felt such strong, like, Inside Out 2 vibes. And I love Inside Out 2, but don't get me wrong. But, like, the problem is, this is not that. It's so decidedly not that film, and it does not fit the tone. It's literally through the power of friendship. Like, this is My Little Pony. Like, if we just hug each other and believe and be less sad, then when you're sad, you won't be sad anymore. And then you won't be the sad guy who makes everyone sad. And then everyone, they're no longer sad because the void shrinks back down, and now, oh my goodness, we're all happy again. What did I just watch? And like I said, Yelena and her dad actually have a through narrative. They actually resolve some level of their trauma over the course of the movie, and by the end of it, you feel somewhat satisfied with their story. John Walker, Ghost, Bucky, all these characters could be interchangeable. You could have put Taskmaster there instead of Ghost or Bucky or anyone else. They all don't matter. Them being them specifically doesn't fucking matter at all. You may as well have put in other characters because they don't have stories that matter to this movie or themselves. They don't. Their past is mentioned. John Walker's past is mentioned. Were they there for, like, the visual cool? Not even, because there was no visualness. Like, Ghost used her powers to phase out of the scene she's in most of the time, And the one time she uses her powers for like an interesting visual effect is when Sentry whoops her ass. And then she never uses it again. It's like, what's the point? Like, I don't know why this movie made the creative decisions that it did with the characters that it has. But even if you were stuck, even if you were hell-bent on choosing these characters for this project, you could still have written a story where people learn. People actually grow from their mistakes. Imagine if they had overcome their trauma. Instead, it's mildly implied that the Thunderbolts overcame their individual traumas off screen. And then it's never addressed again and is never relevant again because they're just announced as the new Avengers. And then it's funny post-credit scenes from there on out. Like, what? Why? Why even do that? Why spend so much time on the emotional connection if you're just going to drop it? All that being said, this is a good movie at the end of the day for a lot of different reasons. Action's great. Dialogue, for the most part, is great. I have problems with the characters here and there, but you know what? The scenes they're in are actually really fun to watch. They're entertaining. It does have a satisfying conclusion because it's Yelena's movie. She does have an arc. She does have a conclusion at the end of the day. So I think she really carries the movie on her shoulders, and it is what it is. I think at the end of the day, it lands strong, starts strong, ends strong. And the post-credits is one of the first times I felt like, wow, I'm genuinely excited for the next movie. Like, holy shit. I haven't felt that in Marvel in a long time. And I'll say this too. This feels like an actual end of the phase movie. You know, phase 4 ended with like, what, Thor 4 and like Black Panther 2. And those are good. Well, Black Panther 2 is a really good movie. But it doesn't feel like a conclusion at all to the movies that have come before. And that's totally fair to say because one's in outer space and one's only in Wakanda. Ain't no other Avengers present. Ain't no other, like, the overall storylines of the MCU are not present. But the last two movies of this phase are Brave New World and Thunderbolts. Brave New World followed on from a lot of other old movies' plot lines and concluded them, or at least, you know, gave some level of closure to them. And then this movie really hit the nail hard where it's like, okay, the post-Endgame Black Widow-esque spy storylines are converging and coming to a conclusion now. So now it does feel like we've earned the point where we can watch Thunderbolts and go, yes, this is a satisfying ending. Finally, a through narrative. Like, wow, it took long enough. It's also funny, too, now that I think about it out loud, is like, the end of a phase is usually an Avengers film. This technically was one with the title swap, which is kind of funny, you know, given how that works, how like that's kind of why I feel this way, where it's like, okay, well, things came together and converged in some effect. It's the soldier spy plot line, you know, post Endgame that started with Black Widow finally comes to a satisfying ending. Yelena feels like a fully formed character now. She has something to do. But Phase 4 didn't have an Avengers, like, at all, or anything remotely resembling that. So I don't know what they were accomplishing there. I don't know what they were doing. I would strangely call the past two phases one big phase and just call that, like, Phase 4. You know, Phase 3 was almost as long. You may as well. Yeah, I felt like I was being rewarded for watching the MCU movies prior and TV shows and stuff like that. I haven't felt that way in an MCU movie in a very long time. It's been a lot of years, so that was part of my enjoyment of it. But at the same time, on its own merits, it is a good movie. Like, I complained a lot about it. I had my problems. But those problems hold it back from, like, being a really high score. Right now, I'd probably give it, like, a 7 out of 10. 7. Yeah, I can't give it a 6. It's a little too harsh. Maybe a 6. I don't know. It's good. It's a good movie, and it gets the job done. It's a fun summer blockbuster. It'll entertain the kids. Also, might I add, just because it's a post-credits scene, I was wondering when the Fantastic Four would come to our Earth, or when those storylines would converge. They didn't even wait until the movie's out. The movie is not in theaters. It's months away from releasing, and the Fantastic Four are already in the MCU. So now I know everything about how Fantastic Four ends. That means that shit's going to get so fucked up in their reality that, like, oh, I got to go get the Avengers in this reality for some reason, and let's go team up and stop Doctor Doom. That's what's going to have to happen. Maybe there's an amazing surprise twist. Maybe Doctor Doom stole their spaceship and is going to blow up the Avengers. I don't know. I don't know. Sounds fun. But at the very least, I'm thinking about it, and I'm kind of excited about it. Like, oh, man, combine that with the fact that you got the X-Men OGs in there, like, Doomsday's going to be ridiculous. So this movie did get me even more hyped for a movie I was already hyped for. So by that logic alone, hell yes. That's all I got to say. Go see Thunderbolts *.